The story starts with a man who was fishing for 3 days but didn't get a single fish. Suddenly, the bubbles start coming from the puddle. John felt something was wrong, stood up, and the bubbles started becoming bigger, leading him to turn and run. But an enormous water dragon came out, opened his mouth, and swallowed him. The cold water makes him shiver, and the water is frozen on his clothes due to the low temperature. He was shivering, but as he lowers his head, he finds a big fish in his bucket. Overjoyed by it, he runs to his home to cook fish, as he hadn't eaten meat for months. He started preparation for fish soup by cutting the wood for fire and setting the table, as nothing could be better than fish soup in the winters. When John was taking out ingredients for the fish stew, he heard a woman's voice. When he turned, he noticed the fish was talking to him, much to his shock. He hid under the table and slowly rose his head. Fish bid him hello, confirming what he saw was real. The big fish reveals she is a fish princess in the ocean and tired of living there. Big Fish wanted to come on the land to experience the human world, and as Big Fish saw John fishing, she jumped into his bucket. Big Fish also told him that as long as he let her travel with him, she would fulfill all his wishes. After thinking a bit, John dropped the idea of eating her and put the bucket on the bed, about to take some rest when the house stumbles and goes as much as up until his bed with the fireplace goes out. As the ride completed, John asked Fish if it was her doing, and she said she wanted to take him to the land of magic. As she said those words, the ice covering the land gets melted, and all the things start becoming what they were before. The ice uncovers grass and trees, filling the land with greenery. John took the bucket to the land but realized the fish was missing and started looking around. He heard a voice that was coming from behind, and he witnessed the fish in human form transform into a beautiful girl named Lisa. She gave John a cloak made up of fish scales, which gives her the ability to swim into the water. Lisa takes John to the magical kingdom, where he just needs to give a treasure to the king so he can marry the princess. John couldn't hold back and went inside, leading him to be arrested by the king guards before he was able to explain. However, Jons spit out the words that he wanted to marry the princess, and is here to present the treasure to the king. The people there take it as a joke, and before John could present the cloak, he was thrown out. John told his story to Lisa, and she decided to take John for finding a better treasurer for the princesses that she would love. Lisa brings John on a pretty long journey that took all night and stopped after walking miles. Lisa instructs John that the treasure is just ahead, and she shows her concern for him, revealing that he has to convince the treasure to follow him. John steps into a haunted place surrounded by strange things, and the dropped temperature even makes the place much more scary. While John was looking around, a voice came from behind, which revealed to be a cat demon sitting at the window of a small house. John shows courage and walks to the cat, which stares him up and down, then tells him whoever came to his place crossing the line would become his food, unless one has a good reason. The cat demon also shows him his sharp claws, reminding him that if he didn't give a reason, he would become his food. As the cat said that, John takes out a bottle given by Lisa, whose smell takes the cat to him immediately. The cat couldn't wait and started drinking it. The bottle was filled with a delicious liquid brewed from 99 big fish, and legends that has the same as its single sip has the ability to make the human immortal. John knows that he took back the bottle in order to drink it. The cat demon becomes calm and of good behavior after drinking it, and goes to John's bucket on its own. John rushed back to the kingdom to present the treasure to the king, and when King saw the cat demon able to play the fiddle, which King is fond of, he didn't waste time and agreed to marry the princess to John. But the princess saw him and put a condition that if he could bring endless food, she would marry him. John has no choice other than asking Lisa about it, and after hearing his story, she took him to a forest where they climbed to the top of the mountain, where Lisa heard a voice hinting that legend has it. There are 2 mountain gods who live there on the top of the mountain, and they have a magical tablecloth that provides them with endless food. John saw it and went down to borrow the tablecloth, but it turns out to be a wrong action as one of the gods picked a fruit from the table and threw it on his head, leading him to become unconscious at the moment and fall down. Lisa comes into the scene, and the gods didn't expect the fish princess would come to their place. They show respect by standing up for her, and Lisa shows them their faces by changing the water in the bowl, making them realize they became fat while they were once fearsome gods. God gives the tablecloth to Lisa as they become fat and decide to don't eat food until they gain their bodies into shape. Lisa drags John, and when he wakes up, he takes the tablecloth to the kingdom, where he spreads the tablecloth in the town, filling it with endless food. John becomes the hero for the townspeople in this instance, and King witnesses the scene. King, impressed by John, summoned him and was about to announce the betrothal to the princess. But the princess, so clever, made him an almost impossible request that she will only marry him if she is able to see her deceased mother. John realized it was an impossible task, and John was ready to give up. But Lisa said she could help him. Lisa took John to the river where there is a boat, and she told John that this journey is going to be dangerous, so be careful as they are going to the Underworld to search Princess's dead mother. They travelled down, and before they realised it, they were covered by a thin white fog, and the temperature dropped rapidly. The sun disappears and the place becomes deserted, surrounded by strange, haunting statues while the river becomes white and smoky. Lisa told John to be careful, as they are currently in the Underworld. A few moments later, a light made its appearance and pulled them inside. John saw fire and went to get warm himself as the temperature was cold, but much to his surprise, the fire was not hot, but instead, cold. John was already shocked when a voice came to his ears. When he turned, he saw an old man standing at the mountain, revealing that any human who trespasses into the Underworld will have to stay forever in the Underworld. Just then, Lisa came into the scene surprising the old man, and she told him to help him summon the princess's mother, but John realized Lisa's words were taken as orders there. The old man's behavior changes to that of a servant, and he immediately takes action, blowing a breath that summons the dead princess's mother. John told Princess Mother that he wanted to marry her daughter, which she instantly declined, as it was impossible for an ordinary man to marry a princess. The old man in charge of the Underworld offers a delicious cake to the princess mother, which is a rare thing in the Underworld that can nourish her body if she even only eats one. If she agrees to marry her daughter to John, she can get the soul cakes, and she agreed. In the world, King and the princess were having food when the princess mother made her appearance on their plates and told the king she agreed to let John marry her daughter and also told him to start the wedding preparation as soon as possible. Princess, hearing her mum's words, became shocked, as she didn't expect John to do this impossible task. While John and Lisa were returning from the Underworld, he thanked her for helping him. Lisa told John that he is a man with a good heart and hopes it will remain the same forever. After a night, they came back to their world, and John can't hold back as he is in a hurry to get back to the kingdom. As time passed, an unexpected sad moment came. When John looked back, he saw Lisa in her fish scale cloak. It's time to bid goodbye. With that, Lisa jumped into the water and disappeared. After the farewell, John ran happily to the kingdom to see princesses, but he was unaware of what was waiting for him. As the princess sees John, she orders his guards to arrest John, as she didn't want to marry him from the start. John was blindfolded and about to be executed, but Lisa came at the right moment. Lisa offers her silver fish scale cloak, demanding to let John go with the cloak so she can swim into the water and also become the Princess of Water. After hearing Lisa's tempting words, she doesn't waste a single minute in deciding and takes the cloak on, wearing it a Twitter shrink, transforming her into a fish. She fell into the bucket and cried out. She tried hard to come back to normal, but she wasn't able to. Lisa told me she already swapped her identity and she can't turn back. The water starts overflowing from the well, and the water god came and took the bucket with himself, and Princess is bonded with him to live forever. Lisa chains fell off from her hands, and she turned into a normal human girl. John ran to see and found Lisa there. Now his mind is clear, and he walks to Lisa. They both reveal their true feelings and sit on the stove to go back to their home, where they will live happily forever.